Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to the desktop for another rules breakdown. And this week I'm going to be covering Darksword Adventures. Now this came out in 1989 and is by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, and is a novel-sized game based on their novels of the same name, the Darksword series. And obviously the pair of them were much more famous for the Dragonlance series of novels for Dungeons & Dragons. But I didn't expect to be making this video because I'd kind of forgotten about this game. I'd done a video on it a while ago and then totally forgotten about it. And it was only when I got up this morning, because I was planning on doing a different video, that I was reminded I've never done a rules breakdown for Darksword, and somebody was asking for help because it is kind of an odd system. Now, first of all, I am not going to be using the weird hand symbol version of the rules. There's all these hand symbols they use where different players hold up different hand symbols and then you add and subtract and you come to a number between 1 and 10. Or you can just roll a d10. I'm going to be going with the d10 version. It's much simpler. And as my sample character, there's a bunch of NPCs in the back of here, and I'm going to use Deacon Dulce's a catalyst. I have no idea who she is. I have no idea how good she is, but she's just going to be my sample character. Anyway, let's go on and have a look at the rules. So, in Darksword Adventures, you are basically always using a skill versus a skill. So, in combat, you'll be using attack against somebody's defense. But for more traditional skill rolls, if they're trying to speak to somebody, then they'll be using their intelligence against a target number. They'll be using their strength to move something. Yes, let's use strength. So, Deacon here is trying to use her strength to push a boulder. That's a sample often used in the rules. But the boulder has to have a weight, basically its strength, which it resists. So let's say it's a big boulder, it's stronger than her, let's give it 60. So now we go to page 309, which is a page we're going to be visiting a lot. And it's the Comparative Probability Standard Differential, or TAROC, T-A-R-R-O-C, which is the chances of success. So if you're rolling on this table, we've got a minus 13. Well, minus 12 is the nearest to that, so we're rolling on that row. We're rolling a d10 along the top here, and we get a 1. So on 12, we get an A. Well, the different meanings of these letters is T is a total success. You've achieved something 100%. A is like a 75% success. You almost succeeded. R is a reasonable success, which is sort of 50%. O is off. It's only a partial success, maybe 25%. And C is a fail, a cancel. You have failed completely. So on this, she rolled a 1 on 12. So to move the boulder, she got 75% of the way there. She got an A. So she moves it somewhat out of the way and can reach what's underneath it, or it partially blocks whatever she was moving it for. Now initiative is going to be rolling on this as well. But first, let's have a look at page 314. Person who has initiative is considered to move first. Basically, the game judge uses CPS charts to determine who has initiative using the even row. Situation may arrive that will require the game judge to alter the row of the initiative up or down if one group is surprised by the other group. So what we're doing is basically rolling on the even row here. And it works from the games master's far left to their far right. So again, if we roll on it, we're rolling 6. So it's an O. So someone just to the right of the games master goes first. And you work your way round. And that's how it works. Obviously, if the situation's biased one way or another, you can move up and down to bias it towards one side or the other. But that's how the initiative system works. I think mainly the games master's just supposed to judge it, though. Now, combat works on this table as well. As I said before, we're comparing attack to defense. But it's also worth bringing in equipment at this point. So if I turn to page 369, we can see various types of equipment. So if she is using a knife, then she gains a +10 to her attack skill. If she is wearing plate mail, then she gains a +15 to her defense skill. And that's as simple as equipment works. You're working out the person's defense, the person's attack. So let's say she's using a knife this time, so she's getting a +10 to her skill, but she is using it against an unarmed version of herself. So she has 42 +10, so 52, and her defense is 44. So we're coming out at +8. So we're rolling on the +8. Now, it goes down always, or to the closest. Well, 8's right between 6 and 10, so we're rolling on 6. We roll, we get a 2 on 6, so we have a total success. So what does a total success mean? Well, we need to turn to page 317. Here we go. Now, the difference between their skills was 8, which is below 10, but that's the nearest column or row to it. So we're going to be rolling on this, and we got full, so we did 2 points of damage. And that's how it works. So if you had a much lower attack, but did manage to hit a target, you'd always be rolling on row 10. That's the least you can get. And if the difference is more positive towards the attacker, then they're closer to these, and they're going to be rolling on those, or getting the results of those, depending on whether they did 1/10 damage, 1/4 damage, 1/2 damage, or full damage. So, right up here, if the difference is 200 or more, then it can go up to 30,000 points of damage. Now health, well obviously it's on the character sheet, so this character has 56, and we got 2 points, so she's down to 54 points of damage. But health is more generally dealt with on page 324. Characters with health are alive. PCs without health are considered dead, i.e. no longer part of the game. So when you're reduced to 0 hit points, or 0 health, you're dead. That's it. When you've got damage, you heal 1 point per day of bed rest. So if you can lie around in bed all day, then you heal 1 hit point up, or 1 health up. If you are down to... The body cannot naturally heal damage that has dropped to within 3 points of the health attribute score. So if you're down to 3 health, then you need to be magically healed. You cannot heal back from that normally. So advancement is based on experience points. But if we have a look at the character first, we can see that Deacon Dulces here has various abilities with stations. And that's what you increase. You buy those up. So she has information at 5. She gets 10 points from her talent, giving her a total of 15. But it's the station will be increasing. So if we turn to page 378, we can see the table. So increasing from 5 to 6 is going to cost us 150 experience. And as the ranks go up in station, it costs progressively more. But also, as well as that, you get various other things. So you're paying the cost of each increase. So each step up you go, you must pay out the experience for. So 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, etc. You adjust the revised scores, then you adjust characters' abilities. You see, for each increase you get 1 point. And you can increase things. So you can increase any attack attribute score by 1 point. Any defense attribute score costs 1 point. Movement costs 1 point. Health costs 5 points. Forms cost 1 point. Existing intelligence score, 3 points. Existing intuition score, 3 points. But you'll note those don't grade up. They cost exactly the same whether you're increasing it from 40 to 41 or 90 to 91. It costs exactly the same to increase. It just is based on how many ranks you bought. So to increase your character quickly, it's well worth increasing the station of low-level skills or low-level abilities to get the connected adjustment to your attributes. You then also adjust your life attributes, which is your magical abilities. And it's got the stations here that you increase them by. So that is a very brief look through Darksword Adventures. Now, that looks overly simple because mainly the system is about magic. Using items is not standard. Most people in the game are wizards, and the magic system is far more complex, where you're creating spells. But basically, it's working on the same system of skills, where depending on the skill level, depending on what the spell does, you're rolling on the standard chart. But it's an interesting little system. I think it's probably overly complex, but this is probably one of my shorter videos, so perhaps I'm completely wrong with that. Anyway, as usual, I've whittled on for quite long enough. Thank you very, very much for watching. But most of all, as always, you look after yourselves. And I'll catch you later. Bye now.